Alec, welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes.
We're here to talk about Marvel Rising, Playing with Fire.
Literally had never heard of this in my life.
Last week, we spun the wheel on a series we called Chance Time. It was filled of all Disney Plus things randomly selected for us.
Mm-hmm.
And it landed on Marvel Rising, Playing with Fire, which is basically a TV movie, it seems, based on a series called Marvel Rising. So
no, here's the thing. So I did a little bit of research. It was that you're kind of right, but it was only a short series of there was a TV movie. I think this actually originally premiered on Marvel's YouTube channel or something. I was looking into it. I got a little confused with the details, but it was only a movie and then these 45 3 or 4 other 45-minute short films.
Mm-hmm.
Which is okay, that's a unique concept, I guess. I've never really heard of there being like a bunch of double length episodes in that way. So in concept, that sounds really interesting.
So it was we got thrust in there. We got thrust in there, though. We were right in the middle. We missed out on some backstory stuff. We were talking about how the mother is hunting a ghost spider or something, and I'm like, okay, I guess that's weird, but
that's Gwen. That's Spider Gwen is Ghost Spider. So
but hunting a ghost spider.
Yeah, Spider. She's Ghost Spider. That's like her superhero name or whatever.
Really?
So that was probably yes. So that was one of her early. Well, that was one of the earlier movies. I'm assuming they talked about. They seem like they referred to events that happened in some of the previous movies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel like we did get thrown in very much the deep end because this was the last Marvel Rising short to be produced, which kind of feels weird that it's the last one because it feels like it didn't do anything. It didn't end in any.
Didn't do anything for you. Look,
no.
Dante is our protagonist, and I love him. You know, you gotta love him.
Is he our protagonist? Wait, which character is this?
Dante Inferno.
Oh, he's Inferno. Yeah. He's our main character.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is a movie. The movie's about him, right? But
it is. But he's one of probably the dullest protagonists
I know
I've ever seen in that thing. Okay, so I'll just lay it straight. I think I could solve the problem with this show.
Mm-hmm.
And that is cut the length down to a 22-minute episode.
Yeah.
Because half of this is literally just filler. There's nothing. There's so much stuff. It's I get it. They're pounding you over the head with this is about family. It's all about family because it's about his family and it's about America's family and it's about America Chavez's family, or not her, lack of thereof, I guess. That's just why she's all sensitive about it. Right. And it's about Kamala Khan's family, and it's about Gwen's family, and they're complaining about their family, and then America Chavez
is there.
And she's there. Squirrel Girl is there. She's present. She's the best character. But she's dull also. It's
she's the best
all of the energy in a show that that is a Marvel show that's about superheroes is not there.
Well, yeah, this is a young adult centered.
It's preteen. I would say this is a preteen centered.
Yeah,
show.
So we're not really the target demographic. I mean, you shouldn't dare. At this age, you really shouldn't be touching Marvel Rising. I don't think.
I agree with you. The problem is that there's a lot of children's programming that I still enjoy to this day.
Sure.
So, yes, it's not geared to me, but that doesn't excuse it for being terrible.
Yeah, especially since most of the mainline superhero things also appeal to the kids, Yeah. The Marvel we know and love.
Yeah.
So it's just you watch this and you immediately know, okay, we have a significant quality drop here. The animation is beautiful.
So
there was one shot where he straight up he drifted out the frame,
he drifted.
It just slid out.
Everyone looks off model all the time. It's like you can tell that they really cut the budget on this one, like really bad. I mean, yeah, I mean, like I don't know what animation team dealt with this. I mean, I don't want to come down too hard on them, but they were in way over their heads, and they were not talented enough to make up for the show. That aspect of it, the action scenes were boring and dull and lifeless. If the action scenes, of which there are 2 and they were both bad, there's two in a 45-minute episode. I expect like a 22-minute show about superheroes to have more than that. Danny Phantom, it was like the 22-minute episodes. You'd have like 3 action scenes in those. 3. This had 2, and that was double the length
of the internal struggles that our secret warriors are undergoing. It's a great name, Secret Warriors.
The Secret Warriors, who are not so secret because they straight up bring in a non-hero and just someone they literally just met into their secret lair. It seems like real smart planning, guys.
You can tell. I mean, there's definitely a history between this group here. You know, they are family, and in the end, that is the lesson we learned. That the Secret Warriors are America Chavez's family.
That's right,
and that's the beauty of it.
I kind of like her. I think she's kind of cool, but like
America Chavez?
Yeah. I'm not really getting a whole lot of anything from any of these characters.
Kamala Khan is kind of obnoxious.
I found her obnoxious here. Yeah, I did as well.
But the sexual tension between Kamala and Inferno here was just palpable.
Oh, wow. Chemistry.
Every scene. I mean, it's just every scene, and they're trying to be secret about it because they're secret warriors, and it's in their nature. But
yeah, I mean, move aside, budding romances of like Star-Lord and Gamora. Like, we don't need that chemistry. Nah, it's nothing compared to the chemistry these characters have.
Move aside. What was it? Cersei and Icarus.
Yeah, move aside. Move aside. Yeah, move aside. We got a new wet fart of chemistry in town.
No, but literally everything they said to each other, they had to like preface it with like, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way," but even though they clearly meant it that way, it was like,
yeah, she blushed like 3 times.
Yeah, the first time it was such a strong blush. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they literally like zoomed in on her face, and they like added the blush effect in that.
Yeah, they did not want to be subtle about it at all. So everybody knows what's going on between those two. At the very least, she loves him.
Yeah,
but
he's just oblivious because he's just an oblivious man. He's got so many other things. You know, he killed his family, or no, he killed his family, but he burned his house down. He burned
his house down.
Wow,
yeah,
what a traumatic event. But his family's fine. That's the thing that's like, okay. I mean, I guess it's a traumatic event because it's like, yeah, you're burning all your possessions and everything. Like that's probably legitimately frightening. And yeah, sure, that's something. But it's like he's like the most brooding character for.
Well, he's like, I don't like what I've become, but what this power has done to me.
And it's like, what do you mean? You seem like a pretty nice guy, all things considered.
This is me right here. You don't want this. He said that at one point, like something like that, where it's like, this is who I really am. This fire.
So really, there's really only 2 of the things I really want to talk about, and that is the villains and the writing. Some of the worst I've ever heard. I mean, like,
okay.
They established, they beat you over the head. This is not a subtle script at all.
I love how not subtle it is.
They beat you over the head about like, get at their bad parents, and it's like they're not bad parents. They're freaking like sociopaths about how cruel they are to their daughter. It's like the wicked stepmother had more heart.
I thought it was
for
so
Cinderella.
Funny, the delivery was so funny because they would be like,
it was so bad. It was so bad. I could not get over how bad it was.
What did they say? Your father and mother wouldn't love you anymore if you had powers. And then they start cracking up, and they're like, oh, of course we would.
Yeah, it's like
they were dying. They were dying over it.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, I can't believe they didn't like kill their daughter already or just abandon her or whatever. It's like, why are you even having her hang around if you hate her so much?
Like,
it's
blah,
so
blah,
weird.
Blah, we love you the same. Blah, blah.
No, we don't. No, we wouldn't. It's like, yeah, it's just like it was like, it's like okay, like, like the most black and white, like it's just is so weird. It's like, why did you even have a kid? I mean, I guess maybe they did. They wouldn't have known that she didn't have powers. So they're like, wow, let's have a kid. We can have a secret power so we can do our crime sprees. And then their kid just doesn't. And then they're like, wow, she's lame. And in the end, it was like, wow, she's useful to us now, so we love her. And like that was seen as like a good thing or a positive thing. And I was like, that's like the worst relationship that we just put a positive spin on.
We ended on that one. Yeah, when she's in jail and they were proud of her. I mean, they made a gag out of it.
But it wasn't funny.
I thought
it was so horrible.
So funny how exaggerated it was, though.
It was, yeah. It was like I probably would have written characters like that when I was like in elementary school.
It was so funny. They were so over the top about when she had the necklace and she was trying to show them that she got a power from it, and they just there's nothing you could do to help us.
And they just didn't even look at her, and I was like, "This is the most frustrating writing I've ever seen in my life." It's just like,
though. What a very dynamic and like really interesting couple for the parents.
She has electricity. He has invisibility powers. He's like Invisibilio.
Shaptress. And Zayla is the name of the main villain here.
Yeah, two of the worst names. Like Taserface is a better name than both of those.
Yeah. Okay, here's the one of the glaring things, the pet peeve of mine in general, but obviously they had to bring it in here, is when they bring in the background music with the vocals.
Yes! This is the other thing I wanted to talk about. The insert songs, first of all, they were horrible. Second of all, the first one, when it comes in, I was like, this is tonally very jarring. It doesn't work very well at all. In fact, it doesn't work, period.
I don't think it ever works to have vocals behind vocals or behind dialogue like that strongly. But
no, why do they do what? You have to either make it like diegetic, or it has to be like at just the perfect audio levels.
Yeah.
And the audio levels in this were also terrible. Where like especially Flameo Hotman, Inferno. Sorry, I was referencing a much better show aimed at children called Avatar: The Last Airbender. His like audio levels were horrible. I could almost never understand what he was saying because he was like mumbling, and the audio levels were low, and I just didn't understand what he was saying. And of course, 2 of the 3 insert songs were over his dialogue, so I couldn't understand anything that was going on. The songs were just, they didn't fit or were terrible. One or the other. Especially the first one happens where it's like an upbeat, peppy song. It's like when the villain is kicking the hero's asses. It's like he's getting his teeth kicked in, and this like peppy, happy insert song happens. I was like, what is this? This is like a montage song.
But yeah, you gotta love the moment at the end, the dramatic like Inferno is back moment when he gets his power back, and they put the vocal track in there.
Yeah, it's like the love theme or whatever they played earlier. Yeah,
I wrote down the lyric, and one lyric I got out of it was, "When you feel like the world doesn't know you." I wish I remembered how it actually went, but I wrote down that lyric. Very moving, very moving scene there.
Jun Senyo, with his limited English, wrote better lyrics for the Sonic Adventure games than those. And the lyrics in those are really stupid, which is partially why I love them. But
look, I wrote down some.
It wasn't stupid enough. It wasn't stupid enough to be lovable. It was just annoying.
Yeah, it's a big pet peeve of mine. You know,
not stupid enough to be lovable. That's a pet peeve of yours, no. Or just the vocal. Yeah, thing. Yeah, I don't like that either. I'm with you.
It's always jarring. It never works. Like only if they've done it really artistically well. Like there was a scene in My Hero Academia, like season 3. There's a really epic scene with it. Where it's like actual vocal track, but it's like, the dialogue cuts out and then the vocals come in.
That kind of every anime and every like game I know that does it really well is that it's like the vocal music usually does much better when there's not vocals. Now I will say, a game that comes to mind, I was actually just thinking about this because like Final Fantasy 13 has amazing music in that series of games. But there are a couple times I can remember where vocal songs come in when there's dialogue. It works for the most part because they tend to like lower the audio levels of the vocals when that's happening, so it tends to work. So you're paying a lot more attention to the dialogue on screen. But yeah, it's when your game isn't mixed well, it is a pet peeve of mine also. So or when anything isn't mixed well, it's just like, figure that out. That's like your number one. If you can't understand what people are saying, you gotta fix that. You gotta fix that. So
yeah, but when they put that together, they're like, "Ooh, we got something good here." These vocal tracks are gonna drive it home for the preteens we're going for. No, but Dante is a really inspirational character. He's one we can all relate to. Inferno. I wrote down a couple of quotes. One quote, he says, I don't just want powers to want them. They're part of me. Another part of me is someone who helps his friends no matter what. I love that. And it's really, I have to agree. That's beautiful. And then he says, I want to be myself, all of myself, even the parts I don't like. And that's the difference between you and me. And I feel sorry for you. That was at the end when he
that was like,
defeated Zayla.
Yes, I want to be the murderous. I don't like the murderous part of myself, but I do want that to be myself now.
I mean, like,
I get it. I get what they're going for.
You gotta recognize the privilege, though, bro. You have the power. Yeah. She doesn't have the power.
Right.
That's not the issue here.
Right.
So you gotta. Also, he's like, you gotta love the fact that you don't have powers. Okay, just as much as I have this badass fire power.
Also, I get what the dialogue is doing, but like, why did you have to write it like that? Why did it have to be written like that? I mean, I get you're geared to kids, but like, kids aren't smart, but they're smarter than this like makes them feel. They
made sure to throw in like phone stuff and texting, because it's teens, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Very early on, she said something about, I think this was Kamala. This is where immediately I was turned off by Kamala, because she was talking about, I can only use 2 smiley faces, otherwise it sounds like I'm up to something, right?
Yeah, it's like it's too suspicious if I use more than that.
If I use 3 smiley faces, and then she said, "Oh, she used 3 smiley faces." I've never in my life seen someone use 3 smiley faces.
Really?
In a text.
Oh, I have.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Normally, maybe not in like a text, but like a. Yeah, I don't know. Speaking of texts, I just got my DoorDash showed up, but I can get that momentarily because I don't. Is there really much more to? Do you have anything else really to talk about? I mean, like, I honestly like. I think the biggest problem I had with it was the pacing. I think that, I mean, the writing and the music and everything else was terrible too. But like, I feel like you could have made it way punchier and way more interesting if you just cut out the fat. Like, there was so much, it was just the same thing over and over again. It's like families complaining about families and Diego or whatever his name is talking about his family. I don't know. Dante talking about his family, talking about how moping around about his family and about how the girl
house down, though.
The girl. Yeah, okay, I get it.
So he wants to do normal things,
right? But you
go
don't
to the music store.
Yeah, that was a scene. Yeah. I kind of liked that scene, and then it was like, oh, now it's over. Now we're skipping to more boring dialogue about something.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, it kept beating you over the head with the same stuff over and over again. It's like, did we need like 2 separate dinners at Kamala's house? Did we need like, there was like 4 scenes of the stealing girl, what was her name? Zayla. There was like 3 or 4 scenes of her and her parents not appreciating her. Or like it was like It was the same thing. It established the exact same thing in every scene. It's like you only need like one scene to establish that. You don't need 3 different scenes saying the same thing. It's like, tighten up the writing. You'd make a much more interesting show. Like, to me, it makes complete sense why this only had like 3 things. Because it's like, I'd get bored if I was a kid watching this. It's just boring. It was very boring.
My favorite scene, though, is at one of the dinner scenes where the one that she had America with her. No, my favorite thing is when she says that she was like her bowling partner or something, and then it cuts to the father, and he's like, "You, my daughter, you bowl." It was so funny, his delivery on it.
It was very funny. Yeah, I thought that stood out to me too. Yeah, it was, "You, my daughter,
you
bowl."
You bowl. He had to say "you" twice.
Yeah, you,
to really drive it home.
Yeah.
How
incredulous.
This also took place in Jersey. Gotta represent. Baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say, everything's better. Everything's legal in New Jersey.
Well, we're. I also thought it was funny when they said we're celebrating. She said we're celebrating having you home for dinner. That's why it was a family. She said I thought it was a special family occasion or something. She's like, yeah, we're celebrating you being home for dinner for once. Yeah,
I did. That was cute. I like that.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Marvel Rising, Playing with Fire.
Yeah, right. This is
really creative name too. Creative name, Playing with Fire.
Real creative. This is like a solid 4 out of 10 for me.
4 out of 10.
I'd say, yeah.
I'd say so. 4 out of 10 for me too.
Yeah, it's just like it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever watched. As I watched it with a housemate. I mean, its biggest sin is that it's boring. I mean, I think punchier writing, more interesting action scenes, and if they hadn't cheaped out so much on the animation budget, it was pretty bad. Everyone was off model constantly. It was super noticeable. Where like Squirrel Girl looked like 4 different people throughout the course of the show. I was like, I was like, what is going on? I just don't understand what, you just stick to the model. That's what you got to do if you're an animator. You stick to the model. And it was very weird. You can break that rule sometimes, but it was bad.
Not great. Oh, that means it's a Tarqaron score of 4 out of 10, though.
Yeah, there you go.
One to remember, I guess. Hopefully, we don't get Marvel Rising again, Disney Plus.
Yeah, that's no more Marvel Rising, please. Well, though maybe with extra context, we would have had a bit more fun. You were missing all that needed character. It's like
the house burn to feel all he's been through.
Maybe we'd actually get interesting things with Lockjaw instead of him just being sick and then Tippy being sick. Yeah. I was just like, wow, okay. That's another thing. They established that 4 times. It's like, I get it.
True.
The dog is sick.
Yeah.
It was like, it's not funny. Rule of 3s, not 4s or 5s. 3. Learn from Fairly Odd Parents. 3. It's the rule of 3. That uses the rule of 3s all the time. So.
Well, there you have it. Okay.
There it is.
Oh, man. All right. Well, hopefully we'll have more chance time on the horizon for sure. We're going to try to do it more often, right? Because we always it'd be months between each chance time. So
I know we got to do it again. It's fun. I mean, it's fun to have something a little bit more spice or interesting. I mean, this was boring, but it's more interesting. I would never have even heard or watched this before in my life.
You never know what you're going to get, though. Could be a gem waiting for us.
That's right.
Right. So what video would you recommend our viewers watch after this?
Well, go check out our review of Gaby.
Gaby.
Gaby. Same
demographic, I heard.
Yeah, same demographic as this. You might learn... Well, representation. There was some representation in this Marvel Rising, so you get a little bit more in there.
True.
Except the representation is just awful people in Gaby.
No, they're pretty... Not all of them are awful.
No, just their protagonist. Yeah.
Okay, leave us... click the link in the description and leave us any feedback or comments you might have. We might respond to them in the future. All right. And subscribe to the channel. Hit all the links in the description for our social media and everything like that, okay?
All right.
Bye-bye.
I can't believe I called him Diego.
Diego.
Dante.